Hello there, everybody, and wherever you may be tuning in from today, welcome. I want to talk today's simple astrological 101 topic is houses. Now, astrology houses are one of those things that I've noticed when people are learning astrology, wanting to look at a chart, synthesize, that they talk about the planet, they talk about the sign, and then they get to the house. And, blending and synthesizing, as we know, is an art. And I just want to focus today on introducing to you, whether you are learning to become an astrologer or whether you simply have a passion for the topic and want to learn more about who you are. I want to share with you about how to work a little bit with houses. Now, there are different house systems. I'm not going to talk so much about that today, but I am going to talk about how to approach working with what is a house, how do we work with it, and how do we synthesize well. So I, just for the record, use Placidus house system. So let's first of all just go through the very basics, because I don't know where you're at on your astrological journey. So let's do that. First, house. Houses, of course, are fields of experience. So let me just run through the natural rulers and natural planets that understand these houses and go from there. So first house, natural house of Aries. Each one I'm talking about now is the natural house of. I'm not talking about, please don't get confused with, I don't have that sign on my house. What does that mean? That's your personal chart. So, natural house of Aries, first house. Second house, Taurus. Third house, Gemini. Fourth house, Cancer. Fifth house, Leo. Sixth house, Virgo. Seventh house, Libra. Eighth house, Scorpio. Ninth house, Sagittarius. 10th house, Capricorn. 11th house, Aquarius. And last but by no means least, 12th house, Pisces. Now, I want to go a little bit further here and just say that these houses all fit into a trinity with each other. Let me explain. First house, fifth house, ninth house, all natural houses of fire. These houses are known as the houses of life. Second house, sixth house, 10th house, all earth houses by nature. They are known as houses of substance. Third house, seventh house, 11th house, by nature, they are air houses, houses of relationships. Fourth house, eighth house, 12th house, they are houses of what's known as an old term endings. Fourth, eighth, and 12th house are very connected to the soul of the family, and they are water houses. So that's a quick rundown on the houses. And the planets that naturally have an affiliation to these houses are the rulers of these signs. So just as an example, first house, natural house of Aries, it is a fire house. Fire houses are houses of life. Natural planet that affiliates here, Mars. So that's how it works. I suppose now that I've said Mars, I need to go round the houses just for anyone that's just beginning. So second house, Venus. Third house, Mercury. Fourth house, Moon. Fifth house, the Sun. Sixth house, Mercury. Seventh house, Venus. Eighth house, Pluto and Mars, the co-ruler. Ninth house, Jupiter. 10th house, Saturn. 11th house, Uranus and co-ruler Saturn. 12th house, Neptune and co-ruler Jupiter. So there are your natural roommates, shall we say. So let's now go a little bit further. How do we look? What are each of these houses about? Now, I want to just say, let's just understand first, as an evolutionary astrology, from an evolutionary perspective, everything that is placed in your chart has been chosen by you. That means that in your soul contract, when you signed up to say, these are the experiences I've got to repeat when I get down there because this is what I need to heal. Planets are not random. They don't just accidentally fall in certain houses. These houses, also known as fields of experience, are handpicked by you for each and every planet to be planted there like a beautiful tree in a garden, because this planet is the one that you are going to grow in this house. It's a field of experience where this planet needs to gain its knowledge, its wisdom, and its insight through the experiences of that house. So we can think of it as a field of experience. We can think of it as a stage or a platform. We can think of it as an arena. We can think of it as a waterway or a field, whatever you want. But you have chosen to have the sun in a particular house, the moon in a particular house, and so on. There is a reason for that. So a way of approaching this is to understand what is this planet, and of course the archetype, the sign that it is in, but let's just stick to the planet right now. If we're talking about the sun, why has someone chosen, and there's the key question, why have I chosen my chart? Why do I need to shine a spotlight for me in the 11th house? Why have I got an 11th house sun? Well, fast forward to this point in my life, group work, just one of the 11th house features, is a big part of my life. Every day I do a lot of work with groups, a lot of work teaching groups, a lot of work facilitating groups. And did I find that easy? No. Is it something I came here to grow? Yes. So often wherever we have planets, it may be where we feel sometimes petrified, but we need to embrace that stage. You know, it's like when we turn up at a play and, you know, the curtains open and that set is a certain set. So think of your houses as settings as to which planetary interaction is going to glean the lessons it is to learn from being in that house. Now, of course, we know that we have transits and progressions, or maybe we don't know, but as above, so below, where the planets are outside of us, the inner clockwork of growth inside of us, we can look at all of this as well. And this shows us where planets are moving through particular fields. You know, it's like walking down the street and cutting through an oval or a field. And that particular field has lots of cows in it. So maybe that's a very Taurian second house feeling. But transits will be influencing the houses, just as rulerships. Now, you will possibly already know that you have signs on the house cusps. These are the doorways into these houses. And again, let me use an example. Let's say Aries on the second house cusp. So we know that the doorway into everything that is of a second house nature is painted with Aries trademarks. This house has Aries as the governor. It's the overseer of this house. So that's another YouTube reel. But let's imagine that we need to locate Mars, because Mars is the ruler of the second house in this imaginary chart that I'm talking about. So where is Mars? Maybe Mars is in the fourth house. So in some way, shape or form, the agenda of the fourth house, family, home, childhood, ancestors, roots, emotional reflections, and so on, are somehow linked to the learning, the discovery, and the growth that the second house, Aries on the cusp, Mars sent to the fourth house, is going to develop. So, houses, the element they fall into, the sign on the cusp, and where the ruler is located are all influencing one house. So That's a lot of information. And then, of course, as I said, we have transits and progressions moving through those houses as well, bringing along their own agenda. And so, working with why I have a planet in a house, because that's where you're growing that energy. That's where that planetary energy is becoming wiser and stronger and developing through the experiences that house offers. And the reason that we have any planets in any house is because that is maybe not an area we have mastered previously. So this is where we need to gain the experiences. Often people will say, oh my God, I've got nothing in a particular house. What does that mean? That house is empty. Well, what that means is that perhaps that house isn't at the top of the priority list as far as the work that you're here to do in this lifetime. Doesn't mean it's not important. It still has a ruler. That ruler is still in another house. It still has transits and progressions moving through it. But it's just not the one of the houses that as much experience is going to be developed as other houses. It's really that simple. So that's my introduction into the houses. Throughout the year, I will be doing other reels that are giving you more information and sharing some charts with you as well to give you some examples. But if you have any questions, please pop them in the comment box. If you enjoyed what I just shared, please give me a like or a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, and I hope that I'm going to see you again soon. So that's it for today on astrological houses. Okay, everyone. Bye for now.